with who you with, CurtDog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome on it with who you with, CurtDog. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. Welcome to Speak on it who you with, CurtDog. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak. Welcome to Speak. I'm 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 who you with, CurtDog. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm who you with, CurtDog. Want to welcome everyone to the show. Happy Tuesday. Hopefully y'all had a great day today. You are listening to Speak with who you with, CurtDog. I'm who you with, CurtDog. Welcome everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, D Live, Anchor.fm. All in the house. So welcome to the show. You can live chat with us during the live shows. And you can also call in. The number always strolling across the top of the screen, 972-591-3665. 972-591-3665. Oh, excuse me. It's lost the train of thought. But yeah, you can call in. But it's a couple of rules. Please do not block your number. I would not call you back, and I would not answer your call. If you block your number, I would not answer. I get too many spam calls now, so please do both of us a favor and don't block your number. And if you decide to chat live with us, please be respectful in the chat room. And because we have some people that love to say crazy things in the chat room, kind of like last night before we got off. I forgot the food name, but he came on, says some crazy things, which never should happen. And try to find a comment, but I guess that filter is working. So the terms that he used, it basically just blocked it off and everybody else won't be able to see it, which is good. So tonight we're going to hit on a couple of subjects tonight. One thing is Timberview High School, where the shooting took place last week. The kids did return back to school today. It's not a really much coming out as for the investigation is going as for right now, but the kids are back in school. They did interview some and they felt comfortable. The school is offering counseling. They had to change their protocol quite a bit, which is good. One thing is security of the kids, which they definitely need to change that, provide more security, which actually I feel like they should have metal detectors in all schools, regardless of where the school is located. They should have metal detectors in all of them to protect the kids and the teachers, the whole staff. So hopefully they work out something with that. But they do have extra security, and they also still providing counseling for the kids. The parents do feel comfortable with them going back to school. And so we'll see how that come out. As for the victim and the suspect, They've been pretty much quiet. I haven't heard anything else. But if you have, please let us know, and we'll go from there. Oh, excuse me. And then we're gonna talk about old Donna Sue. Donna Do Donna Sue Bissey. Yeah. She took part in the January 6th terrorist attack on Capitol Hill. We're gonna hit on her a little bit. And it was another story. I did not put it up there. I don't know why. But so we're gonna talk about that a little bit and get y'all opinion on it because I still say what I say. If that was any other terrorist, they would get charged to the fullest intent of that law. But we know that's not always the case here. Um, Sometimes it's one of those situations where, hey, they can they'll get charged, but they'll get a slap on the wrist. Uh, and that's unfortunately how it is. If you could charge a person all day long, but if you're not going to hold them accountable, it's just going to be a slap on the wrist. Um, so that's basically what it comes down to. And then Las Vegas, I believe it was Las Vegas Raiders coach resigned. Yeah, after some racist email came out. Yeah, we'll hit on that a little bit too. And then if we have time, we'll do ask CurtDog anything. So we could definitely do that. It's been a while since we've done it. For the ones that don't know what that is, you can ask me any question you want. I will answer it truthfully, um, but be prepared for it. So won't bite my tongue on it. I will answer it, but I won't answer anything personal. So if it's something personal, I'm gonna tell you I'm not gonna do it. So, but other than that, so to the coach of John Gruden, the former head coach for Las Vegas Raiders, after email surfaced last week of him using homophobic, racist language, and the email was uncovered by the New York Times during a 7-year investigation of workplace misconduct at the Washington football team. Um, since Gordon's resignation, Colin Kaepernick has been trending on social media. Many folks are in theory that Gordon's resignation proved that the former quarterback for San Francisco 49ers, who lost his job after kneeling during the national anthem to protest police brutality, was right about the NFL all along. In 2017, at least 3 NFL owners was asked to turn over emails and phone record related to coalition cases Kaepernick brought against the league. In the lawsuit, Kaepernick claimed league owner colluded against him after he refused to stand for the national anthem during the 2016 preseason. The lawsuit ended with Kaepernick and fellow teammate Eric Reed settling with the NFL. No email were ever released. Now the Gruden email had been thrust into the spotlight. Folks are wondering what could have been in those emails about Kaepernick that forced the league to settle out of court. So, um, so basically, these emails came out over the weekend and after a 7-year investigation. But Kaepernick still not in NFL, but he did get settled. Gruden openness to spew such hateful speech suggests he was comfortable in his racism. And in that comfort, Gruden became one of the NFL's highest paid coaches, signing a 10-year, $100 million contract. with the Raiders in 2018. Kaepernick, on the other hand, had never played in the NFL again. That hypocrisy is the reason why Kaepernick's name would always be relevant. He took a knee so folks would pay more attention to injustice happening to black and brown people all over the world, but instead he was vilified. Uh, Now NFL coaches and execs are being outed for their racist ways, proving Kaepernick had a point about the league all along. They didn't support him when he was screaming at the top of his lungs about black and brown boys dying at the hand of police. Then when he kneeled, they cutted the racists who made it about the flag. They allowed the bigot to control the narrative. This caused the league even more scrutiny and never can seem to get right when it comes to race relationship. Meanwhile, Kaepernick is still telling his story. His scripted Netflix drama, Colin in Black and White, premieres October the 29th. The former NFL star team up with Ava DuVernay for the 6-episode series about Kaepernick life growing up, a star athlete as black kid in a white family in a white community. So that'll be pretty interesting. October the 29th, that comes out on Netflix. And um, I want to know what Jerry Jones had to say. Because let me explain. I grew up a Cowboy fan. I always been a Cowboy fan. Still like them. I just don't support them. As long as Jerry Jones is in charge, he need to retire or whatever he need to do. I would not support them for the simple fact his comment about Kaepernick kneeling and about players on the Dallas Cowboys. If they kneel, they would no longer be a Cowboy. And I think it was one player, I cannot remember his name, but I believe he raised the fist. And that following week, he was cut. And then even at the beginning of the season this year, they asked Jerry about it, and he gave kind of a fly comment. We working on it or something, he said. And that it's either you for it or you're not. Freedom of speech. Um, and my whole thing is, I personally don't feel like uh, Jerry is all about it. He's not about change. He's stuck in these old ways, his old Arkansas ways, and he don't want to change. That's me personally. Um, and I have plenty of friends that will still support the game, but I just can't do it. I'll watch somebody else before I watch them. Yeah, I know they doing good, but I'm not one of those people that jump on a bandwagon just because they doing good, because they still allergic to the red zone and making a touchdown. So, um, so my whole thing is I won't support them, and I would love to know what if Jerry took part in those emails with the racist comments and stuff like that? Um, and if so, will you still support them? Because me personally, I don't care. I Cowboys not paying me nothing, so it don't bother me. It's other teams I can watch, and don't get me wrong. I grew up as a Cowboy fan. I just don't support him right now. Once Jerry retire, yeah, he'll still be getting the money. I'm probably start back watching him, but other than that, I don't support him. Oh, excuse me. Um, Also, let me say it now at the beginning of the show. If you, we know that a lot of people don't realize that here in Texas, that there are still some Haitians down at the border that is um, that is still there, and they need supplies. Well, you could donate to certain organizations that are on the front line that are providing supplies for them. Matter of fact, it was a load of supplies that made it there, went down today, I believe, or made it there today. But I know it's some people on the front line down there, and you could donate to friendshipwest.org. Go to their website and take a uh, go to their website. It'll tell you how to donate. Uh, they prefer you donate the money because it'll be easy for them to buy in bulk instead of donation, and they can get truckloads compared to just a couple items. So any amount will help. It could be a dollar. It doesn't make a difference. Any amount will help to support this cause. It's a good cause, which I appreciate Dr. Haynes for always being on the front line and um, supporting the community, and where people need help, they there to help. So even in the middle of a pandemic, they still there to help. Oh, excuse me. Um, but also, so definitely continue to do that, and still be mindful that um, um, even though they saying the numbers are going down, looking at just came out 2 minutes ago. Dallas County reported 15 coronavirus deaths and 1,363 new cases. That just came out 2 minutes ago with Dallas Morning News for today. So still be mindful while you're out, um, and protect yourself. Um, Protect yourself, your family, and uh, just be mindful of what you do. Don't know why it's not on there, but yeah. Um, so also we're gonna hit on Dona Sue Bissey real quick. Like I said earlier, when it come down to the suspect of the January 6th, um, they say riot, I say terrorist attack. Um, it come down to them being charged properly. It's not happening. It's not happening. Um, so it came out earlier today. Hairdresser linked to QAnon to be jailed for Capitol rioting, like many Donald Trump supporter who stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Dona Sue Bissey has promoted the QAnon conspiracy theory on social media, but the judge sentencing her Tuesday to 14 days in jail said it was her action, not her belief. Your action, not your belief, but you spread the lies. Well, it's her action and not her belief. You had to believe in it to even go there. And your action, not your belief. So you believe what Trump was saying, and that caused your action. And you decided to go inside of the Capitol building. That was your action. Well, if that's your action and your belief is what caused you to do it, you need to be charged appropriately. Charged appropriately will be whatever they would charge any other terrorist. That's what the penalty need to be. Now, Bessie, 53, pled guilty in July to pardon demonstrating or picketing in a Capitol building, a misdemeanor punishment by a maximum of 6 months in imprisonment. Prosecutor have argued that a writer's statement and person on or on social media should be considered when fashioning inappropriate sentences. Um, and the federal prosecutor on Tuesday cited Bessie online support for QAnon and other conspiracy theory, but they also have said Bessie was a rare case in which they agreed to recommend probation instead of home detention or prison based on her early acceptance of responsibility and cooperation with the law enforcement. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chukin instead sentenced her to 14 days of incarceration and 60 hours of community service, stressing she did so because Bessie has celebrated and bragged about her participation in what amounted to an attempt to overthrow the government. Um, and the fact that she should strive to bizarre conspiracy theory, that's her right. That's something she is allowed to do as an American. Chukan said the most serious criminal cases arise from the massive investigation are against leaders and members of two far-right extremist groups, the Proud Board and Oath Keeper. Some are charged with plotting, coordinating attacks on the Capitol to stop Congress from certifying President Joe Biden elector victory. But several QAnon, um, who also played prominent roles in the riot and the conspiracy theory, appeared to galvanize many others who joined the mob. Long before the attack, many experts warned of a growing threat of violence given by disinformation and conspiracy theory like QAnon and their predecessors, the conspiracy dog Pizzagate. Um, so, and this a long article, but basically she getting a flap on the wrist. That's all she getting, a flap on the wrist. She getting a 2 weeks vacation, probably in jail, and 9 times out of 10, probably what's going to happen. Um, Once she get in there, after a day or two, they probably give her time served for good behavior. Unfortunately, welcome to the show, TCAP. Thank you for always supporting the show. Seeing you creeped in. Welcome to the show. And then um, also, you have to look at this. Came out last week that Trump is trying to prevent them from calling himself and other leaders to testify. He's trying to take control and make sure they're not allowed to testify. Well, you don't have that choice no more. If you didn't do anything wrong, why are you trying to prevent them from testifying? What did you do wrong? Apparently, you saying you're guilty, because if you wasn't guilty, you wouldn't be trying to prevent them from testifying. So that's all I'm asking. I'm like, hey, if you did nothing wrong, shoot, you should be the first one up on the stand. But uh, everybody don't uh, everybody don't see it like that. But Trump is doing what he do best and keeping his nose and everything, and still trying to put his name on the ballot for 2024, which I don't see that happening. Um, he been hinting around. He out there a super spreader last week and said that making preparation to run again. Well, hopefully by this time he'll be in jail and running from Big Bubba. Uh, okay, T Cal, I see you. Yeah, it's Tuesday night. You normally work on Tuesday night. I appreciate you for stopping in, showing your head, blessing the show. Uh, but definitely be safe. Um, And also, if y'all are in the DFW, be careful. They're saying over the next couple of days, we're supposed to get a lot of rain in. So definitely be careful. Um, if you out on the roadway or whatever you're doing, just be careful. And so definitely got to pay attention to these because with so much going on in the world, we don't hear about all of these cases, but we may be tied up on other stuff and then they've been unsentenced somebody. And by the time we find out, it's already too late. But a lot of these people is getting a slap on the wrist. And I think the judge said when she talked about Donna Bessie, I believe, I don't know if she's the one we talked about a couple of months ago that pled guilty, but I believe it is. And the judge said she felt bad because she's a grandmother. Hell, she was a grandmother when she went to Washington and stormed the Capitol. She was a grandmother then. So she wasn't concerned about being a grandmother back then. Why should she be concerned now? Hold her accountable for her action. You don't get special privilege because you're a grandmother. No, hold her accountable. If I was there, you're supposed to hold me accountable. But I would never do nothing like that. Mama didn't raise no food. So, um, and then also Kyrie Irving, it kind of, so basically with him, um, he say he's not anti-vax. He's upset people are losing jobs over mandate. Well, they're like Brooklyn told him he won't be able to play until he get it, until he get the vaccine. If he don't get it, he can't play. That's their right. That's their right. Because what people don't realize about this virus, it can take one person to hurt a lot of people. Well, guess what? Brooklyn have many other players besides you. They have to keep safe. And because you don't want to get vaccinated, they're not gonna allow him to practice nor play in any games, which is okay. I know Dallas Maverick announced about a week and a half or so ago, in order to come to a game at the Maverick Stadium arena, you have to be vaccinated. If you're not, you can't get in. If you don't have your vaccination card, or if you haven't took a test 24 to 78 hours before, you can't get in. Yeah, I know some places saying you got to have special insurance or something, like the cruise line saying if you're not vaccinated and you unable to do it, you got to have special insurance. Hell, it's cheaper to just get the vaccination and keep going with that instead of fighting it. That's the only way we're going to be able to control it. And since the holidays coming up, it's really going to be crazy. Um, I know last year we wasn't able. I don't know. We wasn't able to go to my in-laws. My in-laws told us, "No, y'all stay at home. The numbers too high, and we don't know if we're going this year. So we just have to wait and see, because they at a high risk, and we don't want to put them in danger. But at the same time, some people don't care. Some people do not care. But you got to protect yourself and your family at all times. Do what you feel that is best. Um, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of hearing people saying, "Well, I need to do my research about the vaccine and all of this." Well, you must forget, in order to go to public school, you had to get vaccinated. It was only a handful of folks that didn't, due to religion, and you didn't do your research then. Now you want to be a scientist and do a research, but that's your opinion. That ain't none of my business. Um, I'm just gonna do what I feel that is best for me and my household. So, but we also doing Ask Kurt Dog Anything. You can ask the question, I will answer. And if we don't get question coming in, we're gonna step on up out of here because I have a early morning, a busy day. So I definitely um, continue to tune in Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Time, and continue to leave your comments because I do read the comments and I do respond back. So you can always do that. So um, so definitely continue to watch the show, support the show, and you can listen to the replays on Anchor.fm. And you can also subscribe to Anchor.fm for when we do shows outside of these. You can always listen to those once you subscribe. It's just $2.99 a month. Um, so we working on some changes. Don't know how it's gonna go just yet, but we should be coming out with information here soon about that. But other than that, I will see y'all tomorrow night. Love each and every one of you. Until tomorrow, peace.